Hello, friends. The 660th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Today, in the Avdiivka sector, according to the General Staff, 22 enemy attacks were repulsed. Ukrainian defenders continued to hold back the enemy, who is not abandoning attempts to encircle Avdiivka. Ukrainian telegram channels report that north of Stepovy, Russian troops have entrenched themselves along a forest belt west of the railway. There are no changes in the populated area itself. Positional battles and mutual artillery shelling continue in the area of the industrial zone. In the Pervomaisky area, according to data from the Ukrainian side based on videos posted by our units, the enemy is walking relatively calmly near the western part of Lake Ismail. It is not known for certain what is happening there, so the territory is moving into a gray zone. Further south in Marinka, Russian advances were recorded in the northern part of the city, where positions of the Ukrainian armed forces remain. This conclusion is drawn by the Deep State Telegram channel based on the video published by the Ukrainian military. There, an explosion of Russian equipment was recorded at the edge of Lesia Ukrainka Street. According to the Telegram channel, 92% of the city's territory has been captured. Therefore, statements online, including from former speakers, about the lack of success of Russians in the city look strange, writes Deep State. While I was preparing the material, information appeared that Russian troops were continuing attacks in the northwestern part of the city, where the enemy's advance was recorded in an area up to 150 meters wide to a depth of up to 160 meters. Russian telegram channels claim that their troops have intensified south of Marinka towards the fortified area of the Ukrainian armed forces in the village of Pobieda. There are tactical heights and a position under the code name Menagerie. If the Russians capture this area, the road will be open for them to exit from the north to Vuhledar. Western experts are recording the advance of Russians in this area. Also, Ukrainian telegram channels write that, according to reports from the field, the enemy is pulling up reserves for an attack on Pobieda and the fortified Menagerie area. The Russians have regained control of the waste heap near Horlivka, the capture of which Zelensky recently announced. The Ukrainian military telegram channel Deep State writes about this. The telegram channel verified a video with a Ukrainian flag removed from the waste heap of the Gagarin mine. According to Deep State analysts, after the Ukrainian raid on the waste heap, which the president announced, the Russians will now strengthen the defense there, and it will become more difficult to break through to this height. Also, Russian telegram channels claim that their troops have advanced about a kilometer in the Robotyne area. In Ukraine, the promotion was unofficially confirmed yesterday without specifying the distance. Thus, Russian troops are trying to return frontline territories that Ukrainian troops were able to occupy during the summer offensive. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military reports that the Russian army has 5 to 7 times more drones in priority areas than the Ukrainian armed forces. This was stated by the commander of the Achilles Company of the 92nd Separate Airmobile Brigade, Fedorenko. In priority sectors of the front line, we have the following ratio: 1 of our drones per 5 to 7 enemy drones, Fedorenko said. Because of this, the Ukrainian army is forced to use its drones more carefully only when there is already a target. And the Russians have the privilege of working consistently and keeping drones in the air at all times. Ukraine has begun preparing for defense and building fortifications, a process recently announced by the authorities. Today it became known that 2 defense lines are being built in the Chernihiv region, where, in particular, dragon teeth are being installed. The Russians were the first to use these pyramidal concrete blocks back in 2022. At that time, many in Ukraine ridiculed these structures, and the telegram channels of the Ukrainian armed forces showed how Leopard tanks could easily cope with them at the training ground. But now, as we see, they have decided to adopt this technology. I know that using the enemy's experience is a very common phenomenon during the current war. The Russians, for example, have adopted the practice of using FPV drones, and the Ukrainian army has now begun to build defensive lines based on the Russian model. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.